Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, July 15th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. After a few days of active monsoon activity, things are looking a lot quieter across central and southern California this morning. There is much less mid and high level cloud cover out there, as a switch around to southwesterly flow aloft is capping the moisture surge over our area and pushing it farther east into the desert southwest and Great Basin. As a result, we should expect a lot more sunshine today, with monsoonal activity picking up in the afternoon over the more traditional higher terrain and desert areas. Summer has taken a strong hold over the western U.S., and that is not stopping anytime soon. California will continue to remain in the far western periphery of a very expansive high-pressure area covering much of the U.S. through next week. The positioning of the high pressure will be able to keep pumping in subtropical moisture all across the southwestern U.S., thus keeping the monsoon pattern in high gear. This increase in subtropical moisture is also going to be helped along with some easterly waves rolling in at times from the south side of the high. With the axis of the high pressure remaining so far to our north and east, a couple of Pacific troughs will likely nudge up against the high during the period, but high pressure should ultimately win out. The main effect of the Pacific troughs will be to enhance some onshore winds and keep the marine layer more prevalent near the coast. The main forecast challenge as we finish up this week and move into next week will be regarding details of multiple rounds of monsoonal showers and thunderstorms. Like I mentioned earlier, there is more of a southwesterly flow aloft over California, which is serving to reduce the moisture surge. This will prevent much in the way of any widespread monsoon activity, as most activity will remain farther east. There will still be enough moisture and instability to warrant thunderstorm activity over the more typical areas, such as the deserts and Sierra, and maybe even the southern and eastern mountains as well. We should expect similar conditions to continue on Thursday. We are not expecting any significant fire weather-related issues with these monsoonal storms, as they will likely remain on the wetter side, on top of the precipitation that has already fallen earlier this week in these areas. Though of course a few additional fire starts are certainly possible from lightning ignitions, but the growth potential should be limited. Similar monsoon activity is likely to continue through this weekend and early next week. Then more widespread activity may return the latter half of next week as an easterly wave rolls in, though confidence that far out remains low. Outside of the thunderstorm risk, summer-like heat will remain the trend for the second half of July. Temperatures across the region will remain around 5 to 15 degrees above seasonal averages for the next couple days, with mid-90s to around 105 common across the valleys and high desert, 80s to low 90s closer to the coast, and at least 110 for the low desert. The next couple days will feel a bit warmer than earlier in the week thanks to the reduced cloud cover and increased sunshine. Temperatures will cool down a little Friday through the weekend back to near average, then remain mostly steady heading into early next week. Another factor driving the heat is the overnight temperatures. The added moisture in the atmosphere is preventing temperatures from cooling down very much overnight, giving us a high launching point for afternoon highs and increasing the risk of heat-related illness. Humidity is a bit of a fickle friend when it comes to the summertime monsoonal pattern. Based on the general weather pattern, with California being on the far western periphery of high pressure, minimum humidity will remain mostly in the 15 to 30% range each day. With the peak of the heat today and tomorrow, some localized spots may be a little drier. With the added monsoonal moisture in the atmosphere and chances for showers and thunderstorms, there will likely be periods and pockets of higher humidity each day, especially across the eastern half of the GA. As a result, humidities will run higher than what we are normally used to, and combined with the heat will give way to very uncomfortable conditions. As high pressure remains in control, winds will continue to remain on the light side, with diurnal and terrain-driven effects dominating. However, there will be an enhancement in north to northwest winds across the interior central coast and portions of the western mountains today. These breezy winds combined with the hot temperatures and low humidity will lead to areas of elevated to brief critical fire weather conditions today. Any well-aligned starts will have significant growth potential and may exhibit plume-dominated fire behavior thanks to the high heat and instability. In addition, there will be plenty of gusty and erratic outflow winds in the vicinity of any thunderstorm activity. With the peak of the heat expected today and Thursday, large fire potential will become more elevated and very active burning conditions will be likely, particularly for the western half of the GA, which will not see the monsoonal activity. Any well-aligned starts will have significant fuel and topography-driven growth potential, so it is important to remain alert and vigilant. With some cooling expected as we move into the weekend and early next week, as well as a continuation of wetter monsoonal activity, fire potential will lower back down a little. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Thursday, July 16th. Have a fantastic day.